Jan van Baptista Helmont.
What did Jean-Baptiste van Helmont discover? Among these, Jean-Baptiste van Helmont made contributions in both scientific areas. He described that carbon dioxide studied the growth of plants, recognized the acidity of gastric juice and its importance in the first stage of digestion, and examined quantitatively the urine of patients with nephritis. Jan Baptista van Helmont. He grew a willow tree in weight amount of soil. After 5 years, he discovered that willow tree weighed about 74 kilograms, more than it did at the start. As the weight of the soil had hardly changed, Van Helmont concluded that plant growth cannot only be due to minerals from the soil. So what is the main idea of Jan Baptista van Helmont in spontaneous generation? Jan Baptista van Helmont, a 17th century Flemish scientist, proposed that mice could arise from rags and wheat kernels left in open container for 3 weeks. In reality, such habitats provided ideal food sources and shelter for mouse population. Baptista van Helmont in 1577 to 1644 performed one of classic experiments in plant physiology. His research was published posthumously in Ortus Medicae in 1648 and is one of the first examples of the use of scientific method. Van Helmont discovered that water was involved in increasing the mass of a plant. Therefore, plants do take up water. Priestley discovered that a plant produces the substance in air required for burning, that is oxygen. Ingenhouse discovered that light is necessary for plants to produce oxygen. Third, it and then left it for 5 years. He then reweighed the tree, which had increased in mass by over 12 stone. He dried the soil and weighed it, showing that the soil was almost the same mass. He concluded that the tree grew by drinking water. How did Van Helmont discover carbon dioxide? Credit for the discovery of carbon dioxide goes to Flemish scientist Jan Baptista van Helmont in 1580 to 1644. Sources give that date as 1635. Around 1630, Van Helmont identified a gas given off by burning wood and gave it to the name gas sylvester or wood gas. Today, we know that the gas is carbon dioxide. What was Van Helmont's theory? Van Helmont believed the fact that mice originated from wheat grains and dirty cloths. To prove this, he gave an experimental proof that grains are kept along with the cheese curds in sweet, soaked shirt about 20 days and are left in open container. When did J.B. Van Helmont discovered photosynthesis? Perhaps the first experiment designed to explore the nature of photosynthesis was that reported by the Dutch physician Van Helmont in 1648. Some years earlier, Van Helmont had placed in a large pot exactly 200 pounds or 91 kilograms of soil that had been thoroughly dried in an oven.